It's one of the things we talked about during that interview that didn't make the cut. I can remember it was my first time starting on the pole. That was based on money earned. So the guys with the most money started in the back. The guys with the least money, moi, started on the pole, started on the front. So I'm on the pole, and we lined up on the backstretch, and I can remember in the 74 car outside pole was this guy, Bob Holliday. I don't know where he is today, what he's doing today. I mean, you're talking 22, 15, you're talking 37 years ago. And I'm on the pole, and I'm like, this is my shot. I'm going to make the race. There's 25 cars in that heat race. I'm gonna make the feature. Tonight's my night. I'm on the phone. There's no way all these guys are gonna pass me. So we take off. Now we're really in turn 3, because the whole backstretch and part of the turn is the cars. We're really in turn 3. The lights flicker. That means go and raise on the flag stand, like, let's go. So I go. I see the light in turn 4 go green. I punch it out. I go banging through the gears. I go down the front stretch. I look in my mirror, there's nobody like near me. I come out, go into 1, I'm doing my thing, I come off of turn 2, and I'm going down the backstretch, and there's the back of the pack. I'm catching the back of the pack. This is great, this is my night.
Great, very good.
I come around, I go into 3, go into 4, there's Ray standing in the middle of the racetrack on the start-finish line with the yellow flag. I have to stop. So I stop, he comes over, he rips my window net down. He goes, I start this race, not you. Oh. I said, Ray, the light went green. I don't care what the light did.
Gotta follow the check of the
flag.
flag.
I didn't throw the green flag. You jump this start one more time, not only will you not be in the front row, you won't be on this racetrack. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm a kid. I'm like, all right. So now I don't want to jump the start, because I don't want to get thrown off the track. So everybody gets back in order. We go.
I can imagine. I wonder if I was there that night.
He leans over with the flag, goes, okay, I'm not gonna jump. We go down the backstretch, going to 3 and 4.
Yeah, he used to point with the thing like.
The light went green. I'm not going yet. I'm waiting. I see the flag waving. I go, and the guy behind me hits me. I miss shift. The whole field goes past me. I'm trying to get in gear. It's grinding. I ended up last. But I remember talking about it, and he says to me, he goes, I remember, he goes, you remember what I told you? I said, you said that you start the race, not me. He goes, that's right. And I believe that he remembered that, because he has that type of memory. But he was one of the good guys, and what he said, we've been to racetracks all over this country, and some are good, some are great, some out and out are horrible.
Right.
But it's still the same type of thing going on. People busting their hump all week long to go racing. Fans rolling their coin so they can get into the grandstand. People working overtime during the week so they can afford to go. It's no different whether it's on Long Island, whether it's in Oregon, Texas, Tennessee, wherever it is. It's the same, and that's something that people just they don't understand. And like I said, it was good. And yeah, I'll tell you what, that was a nice interview that day with Raymond. And we're going to be doing every show. We're going to show a segment from that. But I believe I have access to the entire thing. So we're gonna get that and play it. Maybe not on the show, because we were there. I think we were there like 5 hours.
Yeah, it was a long day.
In that room, and I got there like 10, 11 o'clock or whatever it was. And
long day.
I don't think I came out of that room other than to like eat,
They had food?
Oh yeah, there was tons of food.
I was busy talking to Video and Mike.
But I got to tell you, and again, I want to thank Marty Himes for allowing us to come in there and bother his guests. And he said, it's not a bother, that's why we're here. And that was good. And a thank you to all the guys that were on there. And we're going to do this every week. We're going to show a different segment from that. So anyway. So Danica Patrick, word in the street. Danica Patrick will be losing GoDaddy.com as a sponsor in 2016. And that's according to USA Today. GoDaddy.com announced that they will not return to NASCAR after this season. Patrick, who's 33, is in the final year at Stewart-Haas Racing, is sponsorless next year at the time, leaving doubt about her future in the Cup Series. It costs about $16 to $18 million to be a primary sponsor in a Cup car, and that's a lot of money to throw around. And in today's economic times, not a lot of people are going to throw that kind of money on a mid-pack at best driver.
Go back to IndyCar.
Yeah, you know, that's something.
Wasn't that great there either.
You know, you still need to get a sponsor. So, so they're looking for, you know, Stewart-Haas Racing is looking for a full-time sponsor for Danica for next year, and I'm sure she'll come up with one. I'm sure. I don't know if they're going to foot the whole bill, but you're seeing a lot more of that too. That, you know, that they do 10 races and 5 races and 6 races, or they do the first half and somebody else does the second half. So we'll see what happens with Danica. I wish her well. Danica, I had the opportunity to meet Danica and actually kind of worked with her team at Dover when I worked a nationwide race back a couple of years back. I was there doing a K&N Pro Series race, and
I'd love to see the modifieds go back to Dover.
Oh, that would be awesome. But she didn't like me that weekend. She didn't like me. No. You know, here's what happened. When you're assigned a car for like that day or whatever, and somehow the luck of the draw, whatever, I get Danica. So I have to walk down pit road with their car during qualifying. Then her and her crew chief and me, all the way. Then it's her time to go. While she goes out to do her laps, now I got to go to the other end of pit road to park her when she's done. Because they have to be parked perfect for TV and all that, and I understand that. So she comes in, and I do this, okay, and I'm backing her in, I'm doing this, doing this, and I go like this, stop. She don't stop, she backs into the wall. She gets out yelling at me. She goes, you didn't tell me to stop. I said, what do you think this means? It don't mean stop. So her crew chief and at that day, that weekend was Chocolate Myers. And
I met that guy at Wall Stadium.
He's like, relax, it's okay, there's no damage, whatever, okay. But yeah, I had some fun that weekend. And I had a lot, looking back, I had a lot of fun back in the day. And I really do. So I really did have a lot of fun in doing the trial, but it's just started to get old. And, you know, and NASCAR took a different turn, and different higher-ups and different people who had different ideas and different thoughts. And I respect their thoughts and ideas. But to me, it wasn't intended to be a job. I had a job. You know, so when it became a job where you have a family thing and they're upset because you can't make it, or because, you know, when I first became a touring official, we could go to our series director or tech director and be honest and upfront, one-on-one in an office, in a room. And we couldn't do that with the new regime. They just, it was, this is how it is. If you don't like it, and leave your uniforms at the gate.
Yeah, right.
But anyway, you know, it was just one of those things. And what else is going on? This is one of the things, I'll tell you. I'm going to talk about this Tommy Barrett thing real briefly. Keith Rocco will replace Tommy Barrett Jr. in the Hour Motorsports Whelen Modified Tour car. Rocco's first race was a one-race deal. He was going to race at Stafford, which he did, to replace Barrett. You know, what happened to Tommy Barrett Jr., if you don't know, and I know it's probably old news, after the Thompson event, a couple of days later, I guess it was the race at Thompson, the icebreaker was at the Thompson Motorsports Park in Connecticut on April 12th. On April 17th, Tommy Barrett Jr. was arrested in Willimantic, Connecticut, and charged with driving under the influence of alcohol or drugs. Team owner Chris Auer felt the move to replace him was in the best interest of the team. Now, Rocco, who's had 23 Whelen Modified Tour starts since 2008 with 2 top 5s and 8 top 10s, will finish the season for Tommy Barrett Jr. Rocco, a good shoe, does a real nice job. But you know, it brings me to this drug alcohol thing. There's more of it than we want to admit. And I'm not just talking drivers and crew members, I'm talking officials too. And I've met officials at dozens
Look at Jeremy Mayfield. I talked to him, and he says he got a raw deal. I met him down at Turkey Derby. He drove for Dave Brigatti, and I mean, he didn't do good anyway. I guess he's not used to running modifieds.
But you know, it's just like with any other thing on, when you're caught with your hand in the cookie jar, so to speak, get caught cheating. I didn't do it. I was fine. A guy gets caught with an illegal engine at a racetrack. I didn't know about it. I'm just a driver.
Yeah, right.
But this drug thing, he got pulled over by the Connecticut State Police, and he was arrested. And
that should have nothing to do with your racing.
I disagree.
You think so?
I disagree totally. You know why? Because you're in the limelight. You're supposed to be representing a sport that's wholesome.
Well, you apologize. Say, well, I had a little bit too much to drink or whatever. Well,
In this day and age, that doesn't work. Years ago, when we were young, they drove you home.
Yeah, right.
Now it's a big thing. You got Mothers Against Drunk Driving. You got Students Against Drunk Driving, and in Connecticut, the laws are a little different than here in New York. But it's under the influence of drugs or alcohol until it's proven in a court when they actually come up and charge you. But you know what? I can remember going to Martinsville 25 years ago, being at the old Dutch Inn.
Yeah, I stayed there.
And all the guys there till the sun rose, drinking and drinking. Take a shower and go racing.
Yeah, that's what Bugsy Stevens did. Yeah, I was there with Richie. We were drinking all night. And, we're going to go out for practice, and we had a cup of coffee. I remember. I have that whole thing on video.
Today, that's just not socially acceptable.
Yeah, right.
It's just not. And, did he deserve to lose his ride? I'm thinking so. I think so.
Really?
If there was this guys that drove me, and I haven't had a whole slew of drivers, but anybody that drove for me, one of the things that I didn't allow is we didn't bring beer into the pit area.
Right.
We didn't do any drinking. You want to drink at home, go drink a keg, lay under the keg and pull the stem back. I don't care. There was no drinking in my garage. There was no drinking in my race shop. And that's just my thing. I'm not into that.
You're not into giving the guy a second chance.
You can have a second
Maybe
chance.
He screwed up once, and now he regrets what he did.
When he pays his debt to society, whether he goes to jail or prison or probation, when he's done and takes his alcohol training class and does the safe driving thing, whatever they call it now for that, then we're good. And he served his penalty and then come back. But in the meantime, this a message has to be sent that you want to play with drugs and alcohol and be a race car driver, you can go race somewhere else. And that's I have zero tolerance for this nonsense. And I can remember when I was a head official at the Long Island racetrack, there was dealers that were walking around making their collections and their deals. And you know what? They have a right to make money too, don't get me wrong. Just not at my racetrack.
Okay.
But anyway, we're going to take a break. We come back, we'll just do the Talladega results, and we'll wrap this up when we come back.
Hey, this is Chris Jake, and if InRavio.com spots you at an event wearing this bracelet, they will give you $100.
The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, InRavio can get your message out there. And we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is InRavio.com.
Hey, I'm Raul Panther.
And I'm Commander B. Hawkins.
And I'm Rich Weller. We're some of the proto men. If we see you without this bracelet, you're a punch in the. But if you have this bracelet from InRavio.com, you can win $100.
Put one of these on, or else.
For over 60 years, Hanson Carpet has put the customer first, providing only the finest quality products and service. And Hanson Carpet is so much more than just carpet. We also carry a wide selection of window blinds and shades, and our licensed and insured technicians can service any of your flooring or window covering needs. Browse our huge selection of laminate, carpet, linoleum, vinyl, and tile. Stop by our showroom today or visit HansonCarpet.com. No matter what your project, Hanson Carpet has got you covered.
And we're back. Hey, just Talladega, the Xfinity Series was at Talladega. Joey Logano was the winner, with Brian Scott second, Austin Dillon third, J.J. Ely fourth, Jerry Gaso was fifth, Chris Buescher was sixth, Elliott Sadler seventh, Ty Dillon eighth, Reagan Smith ninth, and Eric Almirola was 10th. In the Cup Series, Dale Earnhardt Jr. popular win with Jimmy Johnson second, Paul Menard third, Ryan Blaney fourth, Mark Truex Jr. fifth, Sam Hornish Jr. was sixth, Ryan Newman seventh, Kevin Harvick was eighth, Denny Hamlin ninth, and Josh Wise 10th. Jeff Gordon, who had the pole at Talladega, finished 31st. Wreckfest. The big one really happened a couple of times. It was definitely a wreckfest. But that's what happened. You know, I watched in one of the instances, and I think it was the ARCA race, where somebody had a run on another car coming up. So he went to the outside. Now they're three wide, and as he went by, they never touched. But the way the air, you could see the car on the inside
Got
do
squirrely.
this,
Yeah.
and then as he went by, the air was like gone, and he just boom, right turned into the wall. And somebody was saying to me, because when I was on, they said, "How does that happen? What do you mean the air?" I said, "You ever standing on like Main Street in your town, and you got out of your car and you're waiting for, and cars are going by at 40 miles an hour? You feel that
I
push?
felt that on a school bus, like on
Right?
Route 109. We're going to make a left-hand turn. We're in the
Yeah.
stop lane there, and car, whatever. You feel the bus shake, like, boom, what the freak?
So I said, think about it. That's at like 40 miles an hour. This is 200 miles an hour. So you know, it's tough. And I'll tell you what, you know, I would race just about anywhere. I don't think if somebody said you could go race at Talladega tomorrow, I don't think I would.
Too fast.
It is, it's 200 and plus miles, 204 miles an hour.
I'd love to see a modify go on that track, boy.
And the Cup cars have the restrictor plate. I wonder how fast they'd be going without the plate.
Oh my God, probably 250,
You
300
take the
miles
Richard
an hour.
Petty Hemi that he ran all those races with in the 60s and the 70s. Now, I'm thinking they'll be like 230, 240 easy.
Probably.
Bill Elliott, like when he had the Thunderbird back in '86. What was he? 214 miles an hour.
Yeah, right.
You know, back in the day. But you know, it's just one of those things. But
All right, let's talk about this Saturday, Mahoning Valley.
Mahoning Valley. What's going on in Mahoning? What are they racing?
We got the 100 lapper, 3,000 to win. They got all their divisions, which we'll be filming. They have dirt mods on asphalt. They got late models. They've got like street stocks. And they got the four-cylinder, like little Pinto cars they run there. And like I said, 100 laps for the modify. All the ROC guys will probably be there and stuff. So I expect maybe about 35 mods. I guarantee you 35 mods.
Now, you're saying 3,000 to win now.
That's what the winner's going home with.
That's what the winner's going home with. And
For a 100
that's
lap
such a nice
and
brand.
around like a donut. The track is like a donut.
Yeah, I was there.
I love that place.
Well, I guess it was a year and a half ago. And I'll tell you what, I was like, it's a circle.
But they passed 3 wide there.
Yeah.
And they all got respect for one another and everything else. It's a
I was
great racetrack.
surprised. But I went to that racetrack and I looked.
It's only a little quarter mile.
I'm looking at the racetrack and I'm like, how do you race here? You're always
Constantly
turning.
on the gas. You're on the gas the
Oh,
whole
man.
race, all the way around.
I watched Eric Beers, former tour
Oh, yeah,
modified,
right.
race winner, there, and I'm like, wow, man, and there was some good racing there.
Good
racing
3-1,
there. Zane Ziner, he was driving the Gary Credit
Yep.
car that
Yep.
day. I'm like, wow, and you know what? There were no wrecks.
Nope.
There were no wrecks.
Nope.
It's called respect.
Got
It's,
that.
you know, it's called respect. And I'll tell you, one of the things that I did back when I was chief steward, and a lot of people thought I was nuts, but it cut down on some of the nonsense. And what I would do is, if you deliberately wreck somebody,
You're gone for the night.
gone
Pack it
for
on
the
a
night,
trailer.
you didn't come back until you paid for their damage.
It's a good
called
idea.
I called it addition by subtraction,
Good idea.
because you want to race yourself. So you'd go down to the local parts guy, you'd get his, ball joints, his spindles, whatever he needed to make sure. Because if you didn't, you didn't
weren't
race.
raced.
You didn't race. And it cut down on some of that nonsense. And a lot of people, were upset with me because, I'd be throwing people out. But you know what? I throw a guy out, but two guys that come back because they threw that guy out.
All right, let's talk about 2 weeks when you make your debut in a vintage modified.
Vintage
That's
modified.
going to be another good race.
Woo-hoo! I'll be driving a vintage modified at the
Is either
Thompson
the coupe,
Motorcycle.
is either the coupe or the Pinto.
I'm excited. I got all my stuff, like my fire suit ready, my helmet, all my stuff. I'm all excited. I'm going to see if that counts towards my qualification. I don't think it does, though.
And then the week after that, go down a wall, do a story about Matlack, then do some dirt racing and go see Chucky Sawyer at New Egypt.
But I got to thank your brother, though, for giving me the opportunity to do that. And,
Yep.
towing all the way to Thompson from Pennsylvania.
Right, and we'll stop at the shop before we go to Mahoning, and you can see all this stuff.
Yeah, so we're looking forward. So it's I get to strap into the modified. Now, I haven't driven a modified in a lot of years, and it was
You
only
wreck
in
it, you
practice.
bought it.
Yeah, I've been there already, So, what are we selling for best offer? The best offer is $100. So, here you go. No.
Well, let's see. One car went for about $20,000. That's the Pinto, and the other one went for about $15,000. That's the coupe.
There you go.
Those
Wait,
are vintage mods.
Well, you know, it's funny, and I said this when I raced that truck a couple of years ago, and I ran it 2 or 3 times. That was one of the first times in a long time that I actually drove a car or a race vehicle off the racetrack and not on the back of a hook. I had a season that every week I was being towed off the racetrack. But I got real good at changing, suspension parts because I kept wrecking them. But now it's a whole different thing. You just go out there and do some laps, you don't have to bounce off the walls. You just do laps, and that's what it's all about, doing laps, getting into a rhythm. But anyway.
That'll be good.
Yeah, we got about a minute left. We're going to wrap up. I want to thank Kevin Basic, the Long Island Need for Speed, and, for coming down tonight. Kevin was updating some equipment for the upcoming stuff because when I have my debut in the vintage mod at Thompson, I want to make sure that the video is good and the pictures are good. And the
We're going to have
sound is
in-car
good.
camera, wall
In-car
camera. We're going to have
I'm psyched.
a regular announcer doing all the announcements like you're watching Fox
I'm
Fox
telling
TV.
you, I'm so excited about that day. I can't wait. I cannot wait to that day. I mean, I can wait. I have no choice but to wait.
2 weeks.
It's going to go
16th.
fast, and it's all good. The 16th, Thompson Motorsport. Then we'll go do some hot laps at Waterford after.
Yeah, on the way
display
home,
cars
we'll
on the way
stop
home.
because that was the car that raced at Waterford, and the
Yeah.
driver was a winning driver at Waterford Speedball. So if they let you do hot laps or they let you park it there, it's on the
Yeah.
way home anyway.
It's on the way home. We got to pass it. Anyway, we're going to wrap it up. I want to thank everybody for being a part of the show tonight, for coming down on your busy schedule, listening. Whatever your endeavors bring you this week, I want to see you next Sunday, or next Monday, I believe, here at inradio.com, 505 on. I want to thank, again, everybody for doing this. Tell somebody you love them. God bless you all, and thank you for being a part of this show. Good night, everybody.
Good night.